random ass review time. This is a random ass review of possibly one of the best movies ever made, and it's Mrs. Doubtfire, starring Robin Williams. I love this movie like times a million. I honestly, one of the go-to feel-good movies. I think. I own it. I own the behind the scenes edition DVD. But like if it's on TV or just if I'm bored or whatever, I've watched this movie like a bajillion times. I love it. Pretty much there is a nostalgia factor to it. I think it is one of the earliest movies that I actually saw in theaters. I remember pretty vividly. I think it was like my 6th birthday or something. I got to see it in theaters, and it was fun times. And Robin Williams, I mean, he pretty much owned my childhood. I mean, you had this, you had Hook, you had Aladdin, Dead Poet Society, great movie for kids. And yeah, I mean, he's just one of those actors who, if I hate, this stupid expression. Whether you're 8 or 80, you just love Robin Williams because he has like a really interesting kind of range. Like, he will do silly comedies, but he'll also do very serious roles, and he's just like A plus at both. It's quite amazing, actually. What kind of range he has, and it's always the best when he can bring it kind of to both. This movie, it's a really wacky movie, of course. It's Robin Williams. The plot. I'll just explain it really quick. He's a voice actor for cartoons. He's constantly getting fired. He's pretty much a big kid at heart. He has 3 kids and a wife with a stick up her ass, and she has had enough. Kind of the thing that broke the straw that broke the camel's back basically was when he held a birthday party for his son, and brought a goat, and I don't know, just caused a huge mess. Wife is that's it, we're done, we can't do this, and basically he's not being able to see his kids because of the divorce, so he cooks up this brilliant scheme to impersonate an elderly woman, whom he names Mrs. Doubtfire, to see his kids as their nanny. And of course, nobody figures it out, because his brother, played by Harvey Fierstein, is a makeup artist for Hollywood, so he creates this elaborate, old woman makeup, so that, he can effectively kind of infiltrate the family, which almost sounds like a horror movie, but it's a comedy, and it's very funny, and the thing is, like, you totally buy it. You absolutely buy it. Like, even though, okay, yeah, it's Robin Williams. Like, it's him playing the gag, but of course you're in on it. It's not like it's a mystery film where, like, the shocking twist at the end was like, it was the father the whole time. No, and it's, like, fun to see him, kind of balance these two lives. He has the life of his normal persona, Alan Parrish. Is that his name, Alan Parrish? Oh, sorry, Daniel Hillard. Who's Alan Parrish? This is probably another Robin Williams character. Alan Parrish. Somebody comment below and tell me who the fuck Alan... Oh! No. Not Hook. Who's Alan Parrish? I'm obsessed with this. Alan Parrish. Somebody tell me, please. But anyway, Daniel Hillard is the character's name. So he's balancing Daniel Hillard and Euphigenia Doubtfire as the two personas, and it's really fun to see him back and forth. He's the social worker who's coming in and checking on him. So he's like going in between the costume, and he's like, oh my god, what should I do? Because he loses the face, and the funniest part of this movie is when he's changing into the old lady fat suit, and you see the kids from across the street. They see him, and at first they're laughing, but then they see a little closer, the like the boobs and everything, and they're like, mommy. Oh, it's so funny. But then he has to do the persona, but he doesn't have the mask, so he like dunks his face in the cake, and he's like, hello, and whatever. It's funny. It's like it's silly. It's sitcom-y, but it's so good. Robin Williams sells it so much. That's the point I'm trying to make through this huge rambling. But anyway, I mean, basically, because he does it so well, because he sells it so well, we can't suspend our disbeliefs. Like, you've seen this kind of plot a million times before, and very rarely does it, work. Like, definitely Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. Even though, my God, what a handsome woman Dustin Hoffman makes. But you buy it because he totally embodies the personality. Um, and I guess the Crying Game, though, you know, whatever. You know what? I don't think I've seen the Crying Game. Never mind. But like something like Joanna Man or White Girls, you don't buy it because it's just too ridiculous. So you can't suspend your disbelief in that kind of a way. What was that Amanda Bynes movie? She's the Man. I don't know. I haven't seen that either. There's so many gender swapping movies that I haven't seen. I need to fill out a list and see them all. But anyway, he sells it. He's perfect, and it's so funny. And like, kind of the where the movie gets more complicated is the fact that the Sally Field character, who I joked earlier that she's a stick up her ass, but you can totally kind of see her point of view of he's not responsible. He should be a responsible father, a provider, and so you can see why she's had enough of that. She's not like a caricature kind of character. You do kind of buy it that you know she had at one point loved this person, but she grew and he kind of stood by the wayside and still remained this goofy man child. But as she wants to grow as a person, he won't kind of follow with her. So you can kind of see that, and it's a silly movie. It's a funny sitcom-y type of movie, but you do buy the characters. You do buy them as real people, basically. And kind of what complicates it is he is trying to win the family back in the strangest, morbid way possible. But Pierce Brosnan, as an old flame of the Sally Field character, he comes into the picture, and they start dating, and fuck. Anybody's gonna steal your wife away, James Bond, you're fucked. Sorry, Robin Williams. Sorry, Daniel Hillard, or Alan Parrish, or whatever your name is, you're fucked. If it's James Bond trying to bang your wife. But yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of comedy in between. There's so many great memorable moments. He's trying to cook and his boobs catch on fire. He's like, oh, the first day as a woman and I'm getting hot flashes. Oh, so funny. And like, when he goes on in the impressions, this is my impression of a hot dog. And yeah, whatever. Oh, and I love his Ronald Reagan impression. That's the only one I can do. Nancy and I are still looking for the other half of my head. So good. And when he is like Robin Williams, he's the most amazing fucking person in the entire universe. So many, voices that he can do, so much, such a ball of energy. It's like he's here, he's there, he's whatever. But so when he tunes it in into the Mrs. Doubtfire character, it's weird. It is kind of like a learning experience for him because he is an actor putting on a role of this responsible old woman. He becomes a responsible person himself, and so he kind of learns, and it's nice. It's a nice little message, and of course it all comes to the big final spectacle where he has to balance the two lives of Daniel Hillard and Euphigenia Doubtfire, where there's he has a big important business meeting with a boss who could give him a good job and set him up. But at the exact same time, coincidence of all fucking coincidences, it's his wife's birthday, and it's at the same fancy restaurant, of course. Which I know is like such a fucking coincidence, but the moment, again, another one of the funniest parts of the movie, when he finds out, like he is in the Mrs. Doubtfire get up, when he finds out, he's like, oh, what day is it? Oh, Friday at, blah, blah, blah restaurant. And he's like, and it was, I don't know, I thought that was really funny. So, I don't know, he sells it, So I would say you have to suspend your disbelief, but you almost don't have to because, I think they sell it well enough that you can't like go, okay, I'll go along with this. No, I mean, you go along with it anyway. So, I don't know. I think it's great. And, great funny moments, dancing along to Dude Looks Like a Lady, vacuuming, good stuff. And that's what's on the cover. He is he's not vacuuming. He's with the broom, but he does vacuum in the movie. I swear to God he does. And I love that part. You know, when I was a kid, I saw the movie, and I was singing along with it, and when it came on video and stuff, and I'm like, do it like a lady. And I thought it was do it like a lady, but it was dude looks like a lady. My parents got mad at me, and I didn't know why. You know, do it like a lady, whatever. Anyway, but, you know, great childhood movie of mine, and I love it so much. And kind of, you know, again, silly movie, but it has genuine moments. Like, honestly, like some movies, they become like a part of your life, sort of. And I think this is one of those movies because I don't know, it has, you know, little lines in it that I always kind of remember. One of them specifically, you know, when you know, he's as Daniel Hillard, he's kind of building his life again, and you know, he's doing the dead end job where he's, you know, stocking old film and putting it in the boxes, whatever. There's that one line that I'll always remember. Every bad job I've ever had, or every, you know, kind of bad moment in my life, you know, I kind of remember this line because it's kind of deep, sort of. But he's like, "Have you ever just stopped for a moment and freeze framed and thought, this is my life?" Or something to that effect. But you know, I always think about that. You know, it's true. It's, you know, kind of deep. But anyway, and again, even though there's silliness, there's absolute silliness. Um, at the end of it all, I do like how, you know, it doesn't really kind of go for the easy answers in a movie like this, which a movie like this could have. You know, what it could have easily done is, you know, have a cheesy happy ending where, you know, the wife is like, "Oh wow, I finally see how much you care. Let's give this another shot, baby." But no, that's not the case, and there's nothing really, you know, ambiguous about it either. Like, oh, maybe along the line it seems like maybe they'll get back together. No, when the movie ends, you know, the whole thing is about his love for his kids and his love for his family and him wanting to get his family back and his wife back too. But he doesn't, and that's, you know, almost like a twist to the movie because we're so conditioned to think, you know, this is a movie, this is make believe, it's gonna have a happy ending. But no, it doesn't talk down to the audience, and it has a very realistic and very kind of mature message about, you know, broken families basically, and how every family is a little bit different. You know, the great speech at the end, which, you know, I'll just tears. You know, some houses have a mommy, some houses have a daddy, or an uncle, aunt, grandmother, and it's very sweet. I think, you know, how it doesn't, you know, it doesn't talk down to you, really. So it does have a mature kind of ending where no, he doesn't get the wife back, but that's life. I mean, you gotta deal with it realistically, and it doesn't mean at all that, you know, his love for his kids isn't any less legitimate, because it's absolutely legitimate. You can tell this character loves his kids. Going through all that insane cross-dressing, of course he loves his kids. So, you know, there's that. But you know, I do think it took a lot of balls for this movie to give us a more realistic kind of answer for the movie. So I applaud that. And you know, as a child of divorce, you know, it hits home, and you know, I appreciate that it, you know, even though, yeah, it's a sitcom kind of story, it doesn't make it into this unbelievable fantasy, and I thought it was the right kind of ending for the characters and for the story of the movie. So yeah, I mean, it's just a great movie. I mean, if you haven't seen this movie, what the hell's wrong with you? I mean, this was a huge deal back when it came out. You know, it won awards. It won Robin Williams the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy. Won for the Best Comedy or Musical Film in that category. Won an Oscar for its makeup, of course, which, you know, that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, it probably, like, at the time, I mean, I know movies, you know, make a gajillion dollars now, but I think it made a lot of money. It must have. But yeah, I've seen this so many times. I love this movie. This is, spoiler alert, I think I spoiled the movie, sorry. But whatever. If you haven't seen this movie, you gotta see this movie. Come on, what's wrong with you? Oh, and that one part where, you know, the bus driver is hitting on her. He sees that he has the hairy legs. I like that in a woman. Oh, so hilarious. I should just describe every single part of this movie. When he throws the orange at Pierce Brosnan. I don't know. Such a great movie, so funny, epic nostalgia for me. But the thing is, I mean, it does hold up on viewings. here I am as an adult. So I think that is important, for a movie to kind of appeal to all ages. Like, some movies you'll watch, like, you know, uh, compared to like another Robin Williams movie, like say Flubber. Um, I liked that as a kid, but seeing it again as an adult, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty uh, weak sauce, basically. So, but this movie absolutely holds up, and this is a movie that I think, in its own way, I think it must have helped a lot of kids get through tough times, get through divorce. I can say through my point of view, it did. So it's a little more than that. It is entertaining. It is funny as shit. But it's a little more than that, and I think that's why it has kind of become the classic that it is today. Um, so yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire, 10 out of 10. 5 stars, 6 stars, a million, 10 stars, a million stars, whatever, 10 or a million, I don't know. A plus, perfect rating. This is the best movie ever. This and Uncle Buck, two of my favorite movies about silly domestic figures. But anyway, that's my review, my random ass review for today, and thank you very much for watching. And yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. Do it like a lady, and have a nice day. Bye.